We like to start our program. This is the third one that we do. Basically, with the GDP doing what it's doing, the economy, the turbulence, and all the other exciting things happen, the Ukraine, Russia, where all of us, I believe that if we were declared essential workers, I believe that we play a big role in how our economic cycle develops, how we live and how others live. So because of that, we started this program, Network of Champions. And I like to start by asking Carlos Torres if he could come up and if he could do the invocation. Carlos.
Thank you, sir.
The floor is yours.
Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
I was debating this morning to come over here walking or driving. My office is right there. I said, no, I think I'm going to walk. Well, I want to say is that, yes, we're living in a very turbulent days. There's a lot going on, you know, and we need to make sure that we got God in our side. So let's pray and this morning to tell God that we need Him. I don't know how many of you need God. I do need Him.
Amen.
Amen.
Okay. Heavenly Father, we come before your presence, Lord Jesus, to honor you first, to give Him thanks for this beautiful day. This activity is just to honor you, Lord. Help us to be the person you want us to be, the agents, Lord, that can we transform our communities, our cities, our states, and even our nations, Lord. Help us to develop that character that you want us to obtain through getting attached to your word. We thank you, Lord Jesus, because you put these activities in Mr. Amado's heart. Help us, Lord, to go through this situation in our life and our family. I pray for my colleagues. I pray for everybody in this room, and that your name be glorified. In the name of Jesus we pray. Amen. Everybody say,
Thank you.
Amen.
Thank you, Pastor Carlos. Next, I'd like to ask our retired military, Mr. Danny, if he could come up here and say the pledge allegiance. And I'd like to ask Benny if he could put the flag. Mr. Danny, if you can come up. Let's give him a big round of applause. Good morning, everybody. So you guys please stand. Put your hand over your heart. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Danny. All right. Next, I have somebody that is very, very special. And to me, he represents a lot of things. He represents someone that came to this country with a vision to prosper, to give. He's one of a pretty big size investor. Plus he loves music. He's played with some of the biggest orchestras, also Sol de Mexico, Luis Miguel, Alejandro Fernandez, and so many others. And I am humbled to call him a friend, and he's your friend. And one of the things that, I'm very passionate about the humble background that I come from. And he represents that. And I asked him if he could wear something symbolic. And today, that uniform he's wearing, by the way, is like $3,000-$4,000. And he's wearing it just to be here to share with you what it says, to whom much is given, much is expected. And I'd like to ask Jose if he could come up and play the national anthem with a trumpet. Jose, the floor is yours. Jose is someone that, like I said, he comes out of, you can sense his spirit and the love that he has for this country, like many of us. I'd like to next move on to one of our speakers. This gentleman, I've been working with him as a board of directors in the Valley Association of Realtors, first in committees, then as a director, this year I'm president. And I am humbled by his presence here because I mentioned this earlier in a video that we were doing, and a lot of times when we're in the forest, we can't see the trees. And I had no clue the respect that Mr. Doling had in our industry until I started traveling to Sacramento, Washington, and I started meeting other CEOs from other boards, other presidents from other boards. And a lot of people, they really take for granted the contribution that we as realtors make. And every time that we sell a house, we bring a lot of jobs to a lot of people, a lot of opportunities. And today I am humbled to introduce someone I can call a friend, Mr. Mark Doling. Let's give him a big, can you guys stand up, please? Let's give him a big round of applause.
Normally doesn't happen where you have to be coaxed to stand. It's a coaxed standing ovation. But the sentiment is appreciated. Thank you so much, Amato, for your leadership, for your commitment to our industry and to our community. So I think we got it squared up here. So I've got, 20 minutes or so? Okay, I'll be fast. I'm going to go through a lot of information. And in the event somebody has a question, feel free to blurt it out, raise your hand, whatever. It can be interactive, okay? We cover a lot of information. So, we're going to talk about the real estate market, but kind of how did we get here? Because the last 2.5, 3 years have been fascinating and a lot's gone on. Follow the consumer. Folks, you always, when you work in this industry, you have to follow the consumer. They are buyers, they are sellers, okay? They are the supply, they are the demand. And if you're not paying attention to them and what they want and what their expectations are, you're going to miss out on business. And then I'm going to talk about some of the things moving forward, some of the challenges and some of the opportunities here in the Inland Empire and in our state. So it's always important when you're going through and looking at data and numbers and the housing market to have a sense of history and perspective. This is not an industry that is static. It is always changing. I started in this business in 1998, got my broker's license, and I assure you there's been a couple of changes since 1998. Sir, how many changes have happened since you started? 2, 3, 4 maybe? A lot, okay? And what makes you money this year may not be what makes you money next year or the following year, okay? You have to be adaptable. You have to pay attention to what's going on and understand that sometimes when we think things are bad, they're not. You just have to adjust. So let's start with some very basic issues, okay? When you work in real estate, we are like third in line because everybody needs food, everybody needs water, and everybody needs a roof over their head. I don't care if you're renting or you're a homeowner, shelter is essential. And you play a pivotal role in finding that element in everyone's life, okay? It's not a hard sell, okay? We're not out there selling something that's really challenging. Everybody wants a house. Everybody needs a house. The question is timing. The question is fitting them into the right property. This is a survey that was done by the CAR statewide. They asked renters if they saw an economic advantage in owning a house. Over 90% of them said yes. Okay? They get it. We're not out there having to twist arms and convince people that this is something they need to do. They all get it. I love this stat here too. This shows the net worth of individuals at a national level. Federal Reserve did this and track it every few years. The net worth in 2019 for homeowners was $255,000. The net worth for renters, $6,300. Really? I mean, if someone's sitting on the fence wondering, is it a good time to buy and not a good time to buy? Trust me, it's a good time. Because every year, every month you wait, you're falling behind in the wealth category. So let's talk about kind of where we are because a lot's gone on. So 3 years ago, almost to the month, to the week, COVID hit. And everything shut down for about 90 days, 120 days as everybody was adjusting, trying to figure out if we were going to live in the next week or two. And fortunately, we're here today. And that's a good thing. But in that time, we saw interest rates go artificially crazy low, down to about 2.5%, even less, 2.25%. It was not a sustainable number. It was a manufactured number to keep things going through a pandemic, which was once in a century sort of a situation. So it kind of caught up to us. So in 2020, when it hit, we saw the last 6 months of 20 absolutely take off. If you remember, June, July, August of 20, things took off on the real estate market. And for a 2-year period, we saw that continue, okay? And then last year, we saw a shift. 2022 was really a tale of 2 years. Okay, the first part of last year was actually pretty good, and the last part wasn't. And what happened was 3 main things came into play. They all hit at the same time. Okay, we saw 2 years of an overheated market. We saw home values jump 50% in 24 months. At the start of COVID, home values were about $400,000. At the peak, about $600,000 in 24 months. That's a big jump. Everybody was trying to get in on that wave of equity, but at the same time, everybody was holding their breath, wondering, oh my gosh, how long is this going to last? Are we dealing with a bubble? Okay, in the back of people's minds, that was an issue. Then we saw inflation start last year. And that was something that I'm old enough to remember because I grew up in the 70s, but for a lot of people, it was shocking. And it was the highest inflation we'd seen in this country in over 40 years. So all of a sudden now, that's another layer of caution for people. And then what really took the wind out of the sail for the real estate market was when interest rates went from 2.5% to 3.5% to 5.5% to 7%. That increase in a short amount of time really pumped the brakes for people, okay? Think about it, folks. We invest, buying a house, selling a house, making big decisions like that. We make them off of levels of certainty, okay? And when there is an uncertainty in the market, are home values going down? Are interest rates staying too high? Is the prices going to drop in the values? That uncertainty causes caution, okay? And that's what happened last year. So the first 5 months of the year, things were moving along fairly well. If you could see when you compare January through May of 21 versus 22, fairly much on pace. They were almost identical numbers the first 5 months of last year compared to 21, which was a crazy year. I mean, think about it last year. At this exact time last year, if you had a house on the market, you had a listing, you put it out on the market, and you had it reasonably well priced, how many offers were you going to get that first week? 10? 20? 30? How many of those were going to be over asking price? How many of them were waiving appraisals, waiving contingencies, bringing in extra cash? That was last year at this time. It didn't last, did it? Again, not sustainable. It was a strange and bizarre market. And then everything kind of came together, as I said, and this is how the rest of the year played out. Yeah, the red's not good. That pink's not good, folks. Those are all negative numbers. And they're not little negative numbers that are 5%, 7%. They're 20, 30, 40% year-over-year decreases as everybody was kind of in this limbo wondering what is going to happen next, okay? Certainty is when people find investment. Uncertainty causes caution. And that's what happened. Median sales price peaked last year in June at about $615, and then they started continuing to drop. We've seen them leveling off the last 4 or 5 months, which is probably the appropriate price. I mean, I think if you've worked in this business long enough, you remember what was going on last year. It was not normal, and it was not going to last. We're seeing prices now being more reflective of income levels and a more stable interest rate. And hopefully, if interest rates drop another point and a half, we'll see this even be a little bit better. So what about the economy? Because always talk about the economy. Is there a recession? Not a recession? Economy growing? Shrinking? Well, the first 2 quarters of last year, we saw a contraction in the gross domestic product in our nation. Tiny decreases. But it was cause for caution as people were saying, are we headed to something bigger and a bigger decrease? Well, turned out that it really didn't. And the fact is, even though we've had recessions in the past, most of them, out of the last 6, did not affect housing prices. In fact, housing prices went up in 4 of the last 6 recession cycles that have hit this country. So no one was really predicting the home values were going to be crashing, but the economy was contracting and there was a lot of, again, concern. But what happened? 3rd quarter and 4th quarter of last year, blew everybody away. When they were forecasting recession and a contraction in the economy, we saw 2.9% growth in the third quarter and in the fourth quarter, and job numbers were higher than anyone was expecting. So that's the good news. We're seeing more certainty and a calm coming in the economy. California sets a new unemployment record. Unemployment is right around 3.5% to 4.5%, which is incredibly low. I remember in 2009, unemployment in the Inland Empire was 16%. We're about a fourth of what that was, okay? That's fantastic. If you look at the Southern California region and jobs creation, the Inland Empire has outperformed pretty much all of Southern California and almost every place in California. The only other place that's come close to us is, I think, Stockton area, but their economy is much, much smaller. So from a large economy standpoint, the Inland Empire has done way better than California and better than most of the nation. We are in a job hotspot here. In fact, if you look at the job losses with COVID and kind of where we are, we've added all the jobs that were lost during COVID, and we're actually on the plus side of it. So we're ahead of where we were 3 years ago. So, supply and demand, buyers and sellers, as I was mentioning earlier, you got to follow the consumer, okay? What do they want? What do they look like? What are they thinking? Well, everybody understands, if you've lived in California long enough, and I've been here my whole life, this is a unique state that's always changing and evolving, and that's a good thing. It's a dynamic place. So, what do we have here? Okay, got it back. So what do consumers want? Well, we all want the same thing. We want transparency, we want convenience, we want certainty about dates and dollars and accurate information, we want responsiveness and flexibility. If you're a seller, you want higher prices. If you're a buyer, you want lower prices. And we want quicker schedule. Those are the demands of what consumers want. And as real estate professionals, whether you're an affiliate member or you're a realtor, we have to deliver. Those are the expectations that consumers want. They're what I want. I'm a consumer. I think everybody here has those same expectations. So we have to really be on our game. Consumers are smart. They're on the internet. They have, phones and laptops and iPads and so on and so forth. They do the research. They know what's going on. And you have to meet their expectations, or they're going to find someone who will. Typical home buyers in California, this is a few years old, and this is statewide, so Inland Empire is probably a little bit different. But there's a couple things to point out here. A little bit older, 48 years old for buyers, 38% minority, 55% college degree, 70% married. These are typical trigger points when people buy homes or sell homes. But it's changing. People are getting married older. People are having children older. There are more people that are buying homes that are single. Just a lot of dynamics are changing in that regard, and you have to kind of follow that. The good news is California's population is on the younger side. We do not have an aging population. We have a little bit younger than the median nationally. And if you look at the percentages, the bulk of our population falls in that group between 21 and 50. Why does that matter? Those are first-time buyers and often move-up sellers, okay? We've got tens of millions of people that fall into that category, okay? The market is ripe. We are not the Rust Belt of other states in this country where they're losing population, but they're losing really important people in the population that are the ones that are buying homes. California's population is increasingly diverse. I don't have to say that. We can look around this room and see that. 1970, it was 76% white, 13% Hispanic, 3% Asian, 7% African American. That's all spread out now, folks. That's a different market, and that's okay. That's who we are as California. So you hear a lot of talk about everybody leaving California, and for the first time in recorded history in 2019, California's population dropped. Wasn't huge, it was a smaller number, but it has picked up. We saw about 500,000 people decrease in population in California in 2022. Not the end of the world, that is not a steep decline in population, but it is something to pay attention to, okay? Because we're seeing people that are young and talented either leaving California for better opportunities, or people from out of the area, out of the state, that are choosing California because the number one reason is home values are too high. That's changing, I'll show you in a second. So this shows a breakdown of people moving in and moving out of states. Nevada is the highest net gain from more people moving in, followed by South Carolina, Tennessee, Arizona, Florida, Texas. California ranks 31st. We're not the worst in the country. We are a high housing cost area, so it makes sense to some extent that we're not going to have as many people move here as some of the other lower affordable states. But why are they leaving? Well, there's a variety of reasons why they're leaving. The first is they can leave. So think about this. If you bought a house 10, 15, 20 years ago, and you paid $180,000, $200,000 for that house, and today it's worth $650,000 or $700,000, and now you're sitting on $600,000 or $700,000 or $800,000 in equity, guess what, folks? You have choices. When you have money, you have choices, all right? That gives you the opportunity to look at other opportunities that might be way less from a housing standpoint. The issue, though, is housing in other states, and we all probably, I did this all the time. You know, I can remember 4 or 5 years ago looking at, well, what if I cashed out of California and I moved to Arizona, or I moved to Texas, or I moved to Utah, or whatever. And if you looked at the housing, it was 40% less, 50%, 70% less for a bigger house. But that's not really the case anymore, and I'll show you. I was stunned. You know, the grass is not always greener, and it's certainly not always cheaper than it used to be. It's a different market, particularly in the West. So here's a house, 3 and 2, 1,280 square feet, Riverside, fairly standard. It's a little bit below median sales price, but right in that range. Okay, not bad. But all of a sudden in Texas, Dallas area, 3 and 2, fairly comparable, folks. $535, about the same price. Dallas is not the deal that it was 5 years ago. Las Vegas, $540, 3 and 2. Oh, I'm sorry, 4 and 2.5. Again, not the cheap house it used to be. Albuquerque, $535. You know, 5 years ago, 6 years ago, that house was probably 2 1/4. Not anymore. It's almost about what it is out here. Bozeman, Montana, for the love of God, $506. Well, I don't even know anybody moved there. Then why would I move there for $506,000? That is crazy. I couldn't believe when I was looking at that. And again, here's Boise, Idaho, $549. Cute little house, 18 square feet. The whole point is this. It is not as cheap moving out of state as it once was. And then when you factor in a variety of things like utility bills and different property tax bases, and you all have heard horror stories of people moving to Texas and finding out what their utility bills are, their property tax. So all of a sudden now it's beginning to shift back in California's favor. So the grass is not necessarily as green in some of those other states that it was 3, 5, 7 years ago. That's not a bad thing. However, the biggest challenge we really face, both locally and in the state, and increasingly in our country, is the lack of housing that's being built. And that is a huge problem that is really having ripple effects. This shows the number of housing units in California that need to be built every year just to meet our population demands. The bars on the right says $119,000, or 119,000 permits that were pulled for both multifamily and single-family homes. You can see that dotted line represents the number of units that need to be built to meet the demands of our population. That white area is a gap, and that gap gets stacked up every single year. Now, if you own a house, the good news is, I suppose, your equity is more secure because the supply is being constrained. Okay, so chances are you're going to be in pretty good shape. You'll see some market fluctuations, but the idea that your house is going to be worthless or drop in value by 50% in a year or two is probably not likely, because it's still, like I said, everybody has to have a roof over their head. But the problem is real, and I would encourage everybody here to be housing advocates. This is not something that I take lightly. When you work in real estate, you work as a lender, you work in escrow, you work in whatever. This is something we need to support. And our communities politically have to support it, and they don't always do that. And the biggest challenge on the political side is they are not building the appropriate homes for our population. The cities love big homes, big lots that sell for lots of money. But not everybody's going to be able to buy and afford a big house and a big lot for lots of money. So they have to figure out ways in which they can build the supply to meet the demands of consumers. So I'd encourage everybody to be a housing advocate, get involved in your community. Amato is a perfect example, and I know we've got at Ivar on April 5th, the mayor of Moreno Valley is going to be speaking to this issue and many other issues, and hopefully you can come out. that Wednesday morning. But we need to engage our political leaders and get them to understand that housing is not only essential, but it's vital for the vitality of our communities. And with that, I am done. Any quick questions before I turn it over to Motto? I'll be here for a little while, so I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
You know, in order for us to be successful in any career, we need to be educated, we need to be informed. But with all the information and with all the data knowledge and everything, at the end of the day, if you're not motivated, nothing happens. What I want to do before I move on to our next speaker is, all these events are taking place because of our sponsors. They're helping out. And I'm very, very happy. One of the things that I've done, I really, really want to grow our industry, and particularly, you know, those people that I work with. I've hired a coach, so all the people that work for Excellence Empire, they now have a professional coach. Last year, he closed $35 million, him and his wife. He's going to be working with us, plus a lot of other things. I'd like to also thank our marketing person, Sergio, back there. Let's give him a big, big round of applause for being part of it. And the people that are our official sponsors, I'd like to ask you guys if you guys can stand up.
I'm Danny Carroll. I'm with Compass Pest Management. We do WDOs, termite inspections for you guys.
Let's give a big round of applause. Next, can you tell me the name of your company and your
Good
name?
morning, I'm Natalie Lopez, and my company is ERC. We do employment retention credits.
Thank you. Let's give a big round of applause. Then we have somebody from Old Republic. Her and I've known Kathy for, well, she was 2 years old, I met her. That's 35 years ago. Okay. Can you tell us your name and the name of your company?
Good morning, everybody. Tracy Bagnoli, or better known as Tracy B. with Old Republic Home Warranty. Pleasure to be here today. Thank you.
Where's Eddie? And tell us your name and the name of your company, please.
Hello, everybody. Eddie with Advantage American Insurance. We do auto, home, and commercial insurance. Thank you.
Let's give a big, big round of applause. And we have someone here also. You want to tell us your name?
Hi, good morning. My name is Angelica, and the name of our company is Your DUI Solutions, and we specialize with the process of getting your license reinstated after a situation of a DUI. So we're here to help.
Thank you. Let's give a big, big round of applause. ID, tell us your.
Hey everybody, Callie Russell, Property ID, the OG of the NHD. We provide legal services. You don't have to answer questions, and we provide lawsuit prevention training. We have $20 million in E&O. We go all the way down to the transaction coordinator. Everybody is protected. We have reports in Spanish. We also are completely compliant with AB 38, and if there is a flood cert issued on a property, it is included in the property ID report. Come see me.
Let's give her a big round of applause. All right. We have somebody here that the gentleman plays a big, big role, big sponsor for us. He's someone that doesn't hesitate. He believes, like Mark, like each one of you, in home ownership. And he's the second largest builder in the Inland Empire, and someone that, you know, loves excellence, someone that loves the real estate industry. Can you tell us your name and the name of your company, sir?
Good morning, my name is Javier Vega, and I'm with D Vega Builders. We're a general construction company, so if you ever need to build a building or houses, we're here. No.
Let's give him a big, big round of applause. You know, all these things are happening because people believe in you. The government believes in you, but sometimes we don't. I'd like to ask all the agents from Excellence Empire if they can please stand up. Can you guys give a big, big round of applause? Thank you guys. Next, this whole event, you know, we didn't just crack a finger like that. But we have a gentleman behind it. He used to do the Oscars, the Emmys, and he's really, really good. And today Patricia was helping him. Jose Luis, let's give a big, big round of applause. Thank you, sir. And we have title companies. Tammy, thank you for coming. And Hugo, thank you for coming. And also a gentleman that he's been a friend, and he called me. He said, I want to make a contribution, and will it be okay if I bring the carne asada burritos, the bagels, and a few other things? And I said, well, let me think about it. Yes. Let's give a big, big round of applause. We also have, Benny is someone, I mean, he handles a lot of accounts. Those of you that like Mariachi, Pancho Villas, and other places, he's the sound engineer. He's someone very, very dedicated and committed to our cause. Let's give him a big, big round of applause, Benny. And then we have our videographer, someone that is doing professional videos for us. And these videos, they're going to be marketing pieces for us. And I'm very, very excited to have Mr. Michael Olson as our videographer. And believe it or not, we're starting to bring people from far, almost all the way, well, right by the ocean. You want to give us your name, sir, and where you come from? My very good friend.
Ricardo Excellence, Torrance office.
And we have someone that he was a stranger, and then all of a sudden, you know, I look him up and he's posting stuff and he's back. Sir. Victor, welcome back. You know, the Excellence Organization, we're not better, we're not worse, but we're different. And we're here to educate, to empower our people. Also, I don't want to not acknowledge, but he brought me a special knife. My very good friend Eric, he's also an author. Thank you, sir, for And I want to thank each one of you from the bottom of my heart for just having that servant attitude, wanting to make a difference. Now, without any further ado, I'd like to introduce someone. I met this gentleman probably 7, 8 years ago. At that time, we had about 6, 7 agents, and somehow I just reached out. I seen him on social media. Works, by the way, guys, but you guys have to be intentional with a purpose, okay? Not be saying about, anyways, I won't go there. We'll get into that. But I met him, and I said somehow I had like a divine, I don't know, like calling to talk to him and meet him. We became very good friends. He started working with us. He's someone that he is the speaker for Urbecker, the Millionaire's Mind, all over Latin America, for Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki, all over Latin America. He has spoken to over 200,000 people in South Korea. He's a phenomenal speaker. He's someone that I am humble to introduce. And if I can ask you guys to please stand up and welcome none other than Ruben Mata.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And you look amazing. You really look amazing.
You look amazing.
Thank you. And it's acknowledging that you look amazing. And the great thing is you're here. Don't sit down yet. No, don't sit down yet. Yeah, don't sit down. Because we're going to acknowledge you. Because without this event happening here, and you not being here, it wouldn't happen. So I would like to acknowledge each and every one of you for being here. So give yourselves a huge round of applause. Thank you. Now please have a seat. Thank you for that as well. We're ready. We have a lot of information, and I have a short period of time, like 3 hours to deliver. I mean, we have bagels, you know, we go in the back and put them in your backpack or whatever you got, because we're in for a long ride. Who's ready for some amazing information? Say, I am. Say, I am. Turn to the person next to you, give a high five, and say, so are you. It's like, oh my gosh, it's one of these events. The high fives, the turn to your neighbor, and motivation. You're right. It's about having fun. It's about having what? Fun. About having what? Fun. Thank you. I ask a lot of questions. Did you realize that?
Yes.
Thank you. I ask a lot of questions. Did you realize that?
Yes.
Thank you. You know why I ask a lot of questions? Because they hook the mind. They open people up to receive information. Because the words that you speak are so powerful. So powerful. And once you realize that, of how powerful the words you use are, you'll realize your way to communicate, you'll invest more time in. Because how many of you want more money in your life? 10 people? Remember, this is an interactive, Thank you, interactive event. Now, when I walked in and I seen Baco here, it sat deep in my heart because he drove to Las Vegas at one of my events. He drove there and he invited me to lunch and he paid. And I did the whole thing, you know, I reached for my wallet. No, I got it, bro. And he says, no, I got it. And I allowed that to happen because it was going to rob him of his blessing. And I became an excellent, amen, and I became an excellent receiver. An excellent what? Receiver. Amen, an excellent receiver. Woo, where'd that amen come out? Woo, we're having church up in here. Feel it in my hands, I feel it in my feet. Ha, yes. How many of you woke up this morning and said, today's going to be a great day? Okay, thank you. How many of you woke up and said, today is a great day? Woo! That's being in the moment. That's already living it. Because we can hear about it, speak about it, talk about it, but if we don't live it, we don't know it. Now, Baco's fiance? Put you on the spot, bro. And that's not on the spot because they complement each other. It's being with somebody that's going to build you up and not hold you down and take you down. And that's how it is in business and in life as well. It's about realizing and being aware. Being a what? Aware. Thank you. Being aware of what's going on in your life. Because when we take inventory of what's going in on our lives, we're able to adjust. Or are we just getting by? How many of you ask people, how are you doing? Just getting by. Just hanging on. Just got my head above water. So if those are the words that we're speaking, that's what's happening in our life. Because we manifest everything. It is written, ask ye shall receive, seek ye shall find. And if you, it shall be opened. Woo! Here we go, church, once again. There's nothing new that I'm sharing under the sun. There's nothing new. It's all been spoken already. It's just being brought up in a different way. It's like a chef that cooks a lasagna. Lasagna is lasagna, but everybody has a different sazon. Everybody has a different flavor. And the flavor you're receiving today is Ruben's flavor. Lion King. Woo! And the reason why I say it Lion King is because I identify with that. I identify with the traits of something that's so powerful. That's so amazing that will never give up. Woo! Man, you got an echo up in here. God. Let go and trust. Let go and trust the process. I mean, the Bible says you got 10 minutes up here. I say, okay. Yeah, right. Just kidding. And like, okay, well, how we met Armando really quick, because he was like 2015, he reached out on Facebook, like a stalker. He's like, I don't know, God told me to reach out. And I was like, oh, one of these God guys. Right? And then he says, you know, if you could come and speak at our office, I'm building an office. And I was like, great. I needed some practice because repetition is the mother of all learning. Right? And what are we doing to sharpen our axe, right? When you're boxing, as a professional boxer, bodybuilder, proper preparation prevents poor performance. Woo! That's a writer downer. Proper preparation prevents poor performance. Ty Green, the bodybuilder, said that. And if you're prepared, when something happens, you know how to react. When you're prepared, how many of you came here early on time? Thank you. How many of you came here a little late? How you do anything is how you do everything. Ooh, he's gonna get there. He's the coach now. That's right, because a lot of times we don't see we see what we don't want to, but we don't acknowledge it because it may hurt. But coaches see something in you that you don't see. How many of you have coaches? This is where I make my pitch. Well, I'm a coach. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. But there's coaches out there. There's people like Amalo, his office, people who have already done it that'll allow you to get there faster, to shorten the learning curve for you to have more success. Because who wants more success? Thank you. You can say so much without saying a word. When you walk into a room, you speak volume the way you walk in that room. Do you own the room or does the room own you? Are you a thermometer or are you a thermostat? Ooh, yeah, no, we heard that before. But really, are you setting the room's temperature with how you come in? Not this like energetic. But setting it up, setting intention, saying, I run this. When he came in, it's like, man, what's your name? On the microphone, getting everything set up, setting the intention. When you're going to a meeting, are you setting the intention of the meeting or just adjusting to your client? No, they need to be told what to do. Would you agree?
Yes.
They're confiding in you. So when you show up with confidence, when you show up with posture, there's 3 things that I'll tell you that they're going to look for. But before that, I want you to turn to your neighbor, give him a high five, look him in the eye and say, you look amazing.
You look amazing. Yeah, you look amazing too.
And turn to the other person and say, what about me?
What about me?
You look amazing.
Oh, okay, yeah, you too.
Okay, I want to prove a point here. Thank you for doing that. You all look amazing. Receive it. Thank you, Patti. I knew it was like, I'll get her. I know Patti, she was one of my first students at an event. Transformed her life. Why? Because she was playing at 100%. She was willing to be vulnerable. She was willing to be coached. Top producer. Woo! How'd that happen? Being coachable. How'd that happen? Doing the work. How'd that happen? Being open to change. How'd that happen? Showing up. I want change. Show up. Do the activity. I want change. And nothing's being done, really? Aww. It's about having fun and not being so serious. And then Amado, like 3 weeks ago, I was in the hospital. I didn't tell anybody this. It wasn't on Facebook because I usually post everything. I was in the hospital with congestive heart failure. My heart was at 25%. Amado was calling about this event. He doesn't know. I was answering it from the hospital bed. 20%. Gonna get my blood pressure up because some stuff that happened about with COVID. If you guys knew, thank you for all your prayers with that on COVID. Yeah, woo! Resucitó. So that was cool. Yeah, thank you. But yeah, it was. And he called, and then he says, "I got this guy that says he knows you. He played baseball with you." And it was Javier. So he sent the picture, and I'm like, "Great, yeah, I remember him." But it's like, why do we? What we focus on expands. What we think about, we bring about. Where our mind goes, the energy flows. So why am I going to let him know about what's going on? I don't want to add to what's going on. I want to address what's going on. So it's like, great, we'll see you there. Javier's here. We played baseball 15 years ago, something like that. Amazing things happening, but that's where it is, where you just say, ask yourself when things are challenging, what is the next step? Say that. What is the next step? What is the next step? When challenges come, and they will, would you agree? Yes. What is the next step? Because it gets you out of the situation. Problems are 90% solution, 10% problem. That was a writer downer if you guys are taking notes. Lord. It's like, oh, this guy's goofy. Yeah, I am. I'd rather be goofy and rich than cool and broke. Ooh, oh, he's saying he's rich in spirit. Mansions are waiting, baby. Mansions are waiting. I don't talk about money. I talk about being rich. I talk about being abundant in life, about having health, being able to wake up, being able to go to the gym, being able to have all of you here, have people buy lunch. But remember when your first event, he bought a dozen donuts, and we had 6 left over. That's how many people showed up. He had 6 people when we started. When you were working with Wells Fargo. When Buck was with Wells. And then he was the tailor, then he sold vehicles, and now he's over here doing it again. It's what are you doing? How persistent are you in what you're doing? Persistent and consistent. 3 P's to success. Would you like to know what they are?
Yes.
Okay, 4 people do. Patience, persistent, and positive, no matter what. You know, I have a clicker in my pocket, and I haven't even started my PowerPoint presentations. It's pretty weird, huh? Let's talk about going with the flow and the energy of the room. When things are happening, there's Ruben. Unstoppable. I'm unstoppable. You know that song? You guys know the song?
Wait, no, what song is it?
Yeah, thank you. I'm unstoppable. When you tell yourself that and you live it, that you're unstoppable, your life will change forever. How many of you went through some life-changing events that you felt you weren't going to come out of? Right? And you're here. So you're unstoppable. So you actually live the song. It's being aware of those times where you had to dig deep, where there was no light at the end of the tunnel over there, and you're over there. But somebody comes in your life, some way, somehow, gives you a helping hand and says, come on, I got you. Where's that person that had to dig deep when life challenges are coming? Because the subconscious mind records everything. I do NLP, I do events with Tony Robbins, we just did an event with him, and Robert Kiyosaki reached out Latino Mexico, in La Ciudad de Mexico last year. I do his Rich Dad Latino program, his platform. Then with Les Brown, we did an event in Dubai, 50,000 people. We did 2 events actually. I used to live in Dubai. Yeah. I know, it's so cool. It's like I've been places. Kind of a big deal. That's a joke. You know why I'm a big deal? Because he allowed me to be. Oh, now we're getting spiritual again. When you own who you are and you live it, you will see how mountains move. Would you agree? Yes. Would you agree?
Yes.
Thank you. How many people are unstoppable here? No, say I am. I am. Say I am. I am. Turn to your neighbor, give him a high five and say, so are you. So are you. Oh my gosh. Now I have 2 hours left. Right, Sharice? She's like, hold on. It's like, how many of you heard me talk already? Like, before? Cool. Yeah, he's like this, Jose Luis, 2 times. She's another one of the OGs también, huh? And then Hugo también, Eddie, Big Ed, where's Big Ed at? Right there. Claudia también, it was good to see her. Arlene, Angie, all of you who've been here. And if I've missed you, Natalie, if I missed Celaya, and Annabelle, she drove out to see me. I was like, that's pretty cool. Like, there's a fan base. You know, boxer over there, right? A fan base. We all need acknowledgement, no matter what. It's like, I don't need, oh no, I'm okay. No, we do need that. We do need some type of validation and significance in our life. Because it gives us purpose. It gives us what? Purpose. It gives us purpose. purpose and we perform our purpose, not looking for a position or a title, and we perform our purpose, we get given that title when we're ready to receive it. It doesn't matter how much, or when you do something to help somebody expecting something in return, you're in it for the wrong reason. And it's like, in his perfect timing, you'll get exactly what you deserve. There's this place called the Karma Cafe. You get served exactly what you deserve. There's no menus there. Ooh. You want to go get some lunch? It's paid for already by your actions from your past. Ooh. Not going to eat today. So really quick, is it okay if I share about how I got up here now that like I'm almost done with my presentation? So does that be okay?
Yes.
Thank you. So really quick, that was 25 years ago. Here, I want everybody to see this kid. 25 years, 26, all right. It's like, when do we stop being a kid, right? Some of us were still acting like kids, we're immature. Don't worry about it, guys. But like being that child where we don't care about what people say, what people think, right? You tell a child to dance and they're dancing, but as soon as you reach a certain age, like, let's go dance. Oh no, gotta get my dancing shoes on. Need to get a little liquid courage. It's like being a kid. They don't worry about it. ¿Qué dicen los borrachos y los niños dicen la verdad? The kids. And the drunk people, it's just their conscious mind is so fogged up that they don't think. That's a whole nother program. This is Les Brown. We did an event, the ones in Dubai. This was in 2008, I think. Kiyosaki, Rich Dad Latino. I'll go through these quick. This is Mark Cusick, the hypnotist. This was in Brazil. We trained 800 people how to speak in public. And we're going back to do that as well. But this time it's going to be 2,000 people, a 3-day event. Secrets of the Millionaire Mind. So what I'm doing here, I'll be sharing out there. So you guys are getting this at Amado's expense. Just kidding, bro. No, I'm just kidding. Oh, I'm a U.S. Peace Ambassador. I represented the U.S. in Seoul, South Korea. For what my foundation does, we help the youth in juvenile hall. We feed the homeless. I have a juvenile detention ministry as well. People, the parolees who just get out from doing 5 to 30 years. I do this mindset training just like I'm doing here with you. I just switch it up a little. I talk more homeboy. What's up, Mr. Saint? And then this Mendez. I have fun with that too. I guess the way he is the kid. So, I mean, it's about allowing people who can't afford it to get them to hear the material that will transform their life so they can transition back into society from being programmed 40 years of being told what to do, when to do it, and how to do it. That's why God gave me this valuable information, to reach the people that other people can't. That's why he allowed me to go through what I did growing up in the neighborhood, watching people get shot at, people ODing, all this stuff. Why did I go through that? To help people going through that. That's the whole reason. So what have you been through that you've overcame that you can help people out? Take inventory. You haven't just been giving it for, because you're cool, because you're great. No, you have purpose. Would you agree?
Yes.
Say, I have purpose.
I have purpose.
Thank you. Yes, you do. Okay. This is, United Nations. 3 times. Woo! This is in Ghana. My book, somewhere around here. My book in Ghana, we have a foundation out there. This is when I was in Dubai. This is at the World Peace Summit. How many of you feel like that sometimes? Then you feel like doing this. And then this. It's not good. Okay, so that's the whole PowerPoint. Wait, let me turn it off. Okay, so now, here we are again. What will you do different today than you didn't do yesterday to have more success in your life? Write that down. What will you do today different? Let me get some music going. What will you do different? What will you do? What action step? Let me get my phone. What action step? Or you can yell it out. Yell it out. Let's hear it. I'm being put on the spot. Because if you don't know, how could you do it? Okay. Here's some writing, some action step music. Yeah, write it down. What action step are you gonna do when you leave here? Is it gonna wake up early? Is it gonna have intentions? You do one more rep, one more set? What are you gonna do? How are you gonna dig deep? Where's that warrior mindset? Where's the do whatever it takes mindset?
Actions.
Actions, what actions?
Discipline.
I don't know. I don't know what you're gonna do different. But you know, this is Baroque music. It's specifically for when you're writing your action steps down. Just kidding, I made that up. What people tell you, sometimes you believe with how confident they are in telling you it. Would you agree?
Yes.
When they feel your posture and trust. There's 3 things, like I shared, that people need to know before they're going to move forward with you. Can you help them? Can they trust you? Right? Can you help them? Can they trust you? And if you're in it for them, that's it. Once they have that trust, like what does West Canfield say? People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. People don't care how much you know, but until they know how much you care. I had this whole thing I was going to write up as well, because I brought the flip chart to make it look like I know what I was doing. But I think I already crossed that. How many of you feel that I'm sharing truth, that I'm talking my walk? Thank you. Because I'm speaking through you, not to you or at you. I speak through you with conviction because I'm walking and I'm talking what I do. When you're in alignment with what you say, it speaks volume. People feel it. You know how when you can feel when somebody's speaking like they're blowing smoke, it's like, there's just something. Something's not there. Right? How many of you felt that? 4 people. 5, 6. I just like calling people and stuff. Because it's about how you do anything, it's how you do everything. If we're hesitant here, how are we hesitant out there? To raise your hand. How many of you would like more success in your life? Okay, talk to Amala, he'll help you out. Right. We're all resourceful. Everybody around here is resourceful. So with that, I think we're pretty much done. Because you gave half hour, we're good. We don't have any donuts here. There's breakfast burritos. Thank you, whoever brought all the food and everything. Give them a huge round of applause. Everybody who put this event together and for being out there. And really quick, I would like to share some stuff that happened earlier this year when there was I was training a company in Dubai, big crypto company, that went south, the contract ended, and I came back to the US. And I was like, okay, I gotta get some stuff down. I gotta manifest some things. So I reached out to my good friend Fernando and his business partner Angie, who owns DUI Solutions, says, come on, start training our company, start training our callers. We got some stuff for you. They created this position to train everybody. Our numbers are up. But what happened there is showed me, come on, I got you. And I want to thank you for that, Angie. I want to thank you for that. Because with that, everything started unfolding again. Because now bringing their company out here in public, now to Costa Rica, I got an event in Costa Rica. Natalie was at the Santa Ana Broker Preview. She's going to be doing business with them. Santa Ana Broker Preview. And then so we got Costa Rica coming up in April, got Brazil coming up in June, Utah coming up in June, Utah coming up in September, and then there's New Jersey in May. So all these things are happening because it was not giving up, doing whatever it takes. And it wasn't humbling to be in an office training people. It was doing what has to be done to get to the next level and walking by faith. Knowing what's the next step. Woo! What's the next step? That's what you leave with today, besides an amazing presentation with my baby picture. And to see everybody here, it's family here. It's an event, yeah, I get it, but it's family. You know it's family where it's like, what's up? My God, it's been so long, you lost so much weight, you look good. People I don't even recognize, like Claudia. And I think she left already, but she's losing weight. Oh, she's right there. Look at her. I'm here. Stand up. Now what the? I mean, all the hard work you do, are you kidding me? It's like, oh my God. When people, you're losing weight, you're getting in shape. You look amazing. Oh, no, I don't. Are you kidding me? When you wake up at 5 in the morning, you put 2 hours, 3 hours, and you can't say thank you and receive that? Why can't we receive a compliment when we do hard work, when we do the effort to receive the benefits of it, and when people acknowledge it, we're like, oh, no, no. You look nice, your hair looks amazing. Oh, I just threw it up. Remember taking shares like, oh, that's a nice purse. Oh, it's fake, I got it this one. No one here, though, when we're all looking at the purse. Y los zapatos, too. Right? There's Jimmy Choo's, no, it's Jimmy Foo. The faux legs, you know, everybody, fake stuff. It's like, just receive it. Receive the compliments as they come. Hey, you look sharp. Thank you. Qué bueno, mira. Thank you. Hasta las así, thank you. But that's the way to do it, man. Have fun, enjoy, receive, and you'll see how your life will change. When you start up and wake up in the morning and you set the intention of your day of saying today is an amazing day, and you set the intention and you go, and how you set anything is how it's going to happen. If you choose to have a bad day, it doesn't make sense to say, today I want today to go really bad. I want like nothing to go right. I want like all my clients to just not answer. No, it doesn't make sense. So if we have that power to declare it and say, today is an amazing day, I'm going to have success, I already feel the greatness, I'm healthy, I get out and let's go do it. That's a little different. And the great thing is you have the ability to choose to or not to. And today you chose to be here, so you're going to say, gee, I'm glad I did go to that event, instead of the people who didn't and hear about it and say, darn, I wish I had. So with that, I leave you. I got some books I'll gift out, Planting Seeds. And yeah, thank you.
Thank you guys. Thank you guys. You guys can have a seat. There's a couple of people. My son, welcome, Robert. That's my son back there. Title. And then also there's a director here from iBar. Please stand up. You know, we're going to start gaining a lot of momentum. These events are going to grow, and they're going to grow big. I'm very passionate and very intentional, and all my life, everything that I've done has always grown, always. And it's going to continue. Why? Because I can feel it. Before I go any further, I'd like to ask our model, Adriana, to come up. And before we present the gifts, you want to say a few words?
Wow, no. Hello everyone, I'm just happy to see all of you here. And remember, it's going to be a happening event the last Tuesday of every month. I agree with Amado, is going to continue growing. And thank you everyone, yes.
I'd like to ask another model, Lati, to come up, and then we're going to give away some stuff, some gifts. So please. You want to ask Victor?
So this time we wanted to take a picture of the winners with the prize, once, because we didn't take pictures last event, okay? So this, Patricia and I are going to do it. You can, so first we're going to go, we have 3 gifts. They're provided by Mr. ABC, Amado Hernandez, and the bottle, I guess 4. And then the final prize will be the TV. It's a 42-inch smart TV, and that's a stable every time, okay? That we're going to have every time. Those are different every time, okay? And today I wanted them to be a surprise. So, are we ready? Okay, let's just choose the first one, and we're going to have Amado read it because without glasses I can't see a thing.
Property loss consultants, Claudia Lopez.
You take the picture, that would be awesome. Okay, next one. Yes, you're welcome. Next one. Ooh,
Wow.
I know the picture.
Eduardo Delgado, come on up. We have a gentleman that drove all the way from San Diego to bring this gift, Mr. Caco Eric, and it's a very, very fine knife, so.
Great gift for clients. You can see. You can see Eric for details. Next, let's mix, and
All Solutions Insurance.
all right, there she is.
Okay.
All Solutions Insurance. Thank you so much for your sponsorship.
If you could take
Sure,
it.
let's take a picture. Perfect. Thank you.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Next one. Let's see, who's the lucky next person?
Angie Garcia.
Angie.
Where's Angie?
There she is. Oh, Thank you so much. You're welcome. I think we're down to the last one. No, and before the TV, right? Okay, I won't look. I was looking, but man, we're mixing again. There you go.
Danny Gatos, Compass.
Danny! That is awesome.
Thank you very much.
You go in the middle.
Let's take a picture. You can tell we believe in social media, right? Those pictures are going to be you know where. Okay. Let's mix, and we're going to raffle a book too. Best author.
Albino.
Albino. A great looking car out there. That is awesome. Top producer here.
One of our top producers.
And if we can just take the picture. Okay, we like that. So
We can hear the drums, no?
look at the final one. The TV, the smart TV. Wow. Are we ready? How about you? You pull it out, Patricia.
You get it.
Go ahead. No, yes, you can do this. Okay.
Oh my goodness.
You did it.
Who is it?
Jose Manuel Ramirez.
Jose, oh my goodness. This is awesome. You want the TV. That's the TV. I hope you have a big truck, right? To take it, transport it home. Let's go take a picture.
Me agarraron con el burrito en la boca. No lo puedo creer, nunca me gano nada.
Yeah, excellent. Everybody's a winner.
Oh, of course.
Perfecto.
Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot.
Congratulations. Thank you. Hey, before we go, you know Ruben Mata talking about why we don't take compliments, right? years ago, I used to just respond like that. Oh, I just bought it here. Oh, this, but I don't do that anymore. It's been, I went to a seminar years back with Ruben, and today I just see Jose wins the TV. Oh, I never win anything. No, it was going to be a fantastic day. Thank you. Yes, I deserve it. Awesome. And so, but it's not only that to receive a compliment. To me, it's also a great thing to give a compliment. Oh, you look beautiful today. I like your hair. Oh, that's a beautiful dress. And you know what? A lot of people don't do that often enough. I do it. It's my habit. I tell people, you look beautiful, your shoes, oh, those are wonderful. I mean it. And you don't know how well that compliment is going to be taken by the other person. So anyway, with that being said, Mr. ABC can close.
Thank you. You give a big, big round of applause. I am very humbled by you guys' presence. Right after this, we like to take photos, and then those that want to stay and take a picture, I'm going to be autographing my best-selling book that just came out. And it's something you gotta be mentored. You gotta listen to stats. The stat that Mark gave to you today. If you guys were not taking notes, if you're not motivated, like he said, we have a product that everyone needs. There's a word that is called organized planning, and it's basically what one of the 13 steps to riches is that Napoleon Hill wrote. And I just want to say that most of us, we plan too much. We plan too much. I went to Google and I wrote planning for a quinceañera, and there was over 1 million ways how to plan for a quinceañera. You have funeral planners, you have wedding planners, you have a lot of agents that are planners that they don't, the key, guys, the key is in the doing, not in the planning. You got to be a doer, you got to execute. It says faith without works is dead. So it is time that we start working. Forget where you've been at, but treasure the presence. One of the things that I've learned from Mr. Mata, among other things, is he calls it the it factor, And I want to tell each one of you guys that you have the it factor. What is it? You say, well, Oprah has it. Ruben Mata has it. Natalie has it. Oh, no, they have it. Adriana has it. No, you have it. You have the it factor. After I am, if you said like myself, every time that I say I am Amado Hernandez, best-selling author, it gives me a feeling that I cannot share with you guys. Every time I say I am Amado Hernandez, the president of IBAR, it makes me feel great. Every time that I say I am Amado Hernandez, I'm a friend of Mark, it makes me feel great. So you guys need, like Adriana said, to start treasuring who you are and start nurturing that. And I'm going to continue to work hard, and because I want to see a change in each one of you. And I believe from the bottom of my heart that whatever it is that you're looking for is looking for you. When I said my compadre, Vega, second largest builder in the Inland Empire, that makes me feel great. And to be who I am happy. I don't want to be nobody else. I'm happy. You know why? Because everybody else is taken, okay? So be you. Learn to be genuine. And like Ruben said, every time that you get up in the morning and you look at yourself, don't just tell yourself, oh, I look good. Hell no. Say, I look amazingly good. Anyways, thank you very, very much. If we can take photos, please. I want to repeat this very briefly. The reason that I do not believe, everybody says I'm very competitive. If you're being competitive, that's why your opposition and those people that you're competing with, that's why they're beating you. When Michael Jordan stepped into the court, LeBron James, these people, they don't go in there to compete. They're going to dominate the game. You guys, when the Creator created everything, He said go and dominate. So if you're not dominating your game, You need to start. I have a question for you guys. I have a question. Are we competitive? No! Are we competitive? No! What are we? Dominant! 1, 2, 3, excellent!